I'm Frank Hartman with the Hartman Law Firm, and I'm a practicing attorney in Charleston, South Carolina, specializing in auto accidents and personal injury. And today we're answering the question, what are your rights as a passenger when you're involved in an auto accident? Your rights as a passenger are actually very good. It really doesn't depend on, your typical scenario is, you're involved in a car wreck, you've got the driver, obviously you know the driver, and the other party is typically at fault. If that's the case, then it really doesn't matter. Both you and the driver, assuming that he's been injured, can make a claim against the other driver for your injuries and your outstanding medical bills. The interesting thing about being a passenger in an automobile collision is that ultimately who is at fault for the car wreck really doesn't matter. The only difference is who you're making your auto accident claim against. If, God forbid, your friend or relative who's driving the vehicle did something and they contributed to the collision and they are in fact marked at fault by the police, then what has to happen at that point is, instead of you making a claim against the other driver's insurance company, you make a claim against the auto policy that actually is carried on the car by your friend or your relative. This may seem like a conflict of interest, but in fact it's not. The whole purpose behind having insurance on your car is for precisely this reason. And a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their head around that concept. You're not actually making a claim against your friend or your relative. You're making a claim against the auto insurance policy that is actually attached to the car that you're driving in. Because under South Carolina law, your liability policy or your own insurance policy is actually portable and comes with you regardless of what car you're driving in, but it's attached to the car. So the point is if you're in a car wreck and your driver is in fact at fault, you would make a claim against the auto insurance policy that is on that car that you were riding in. And if the opposite were true and the defendant is in fact at fault, then you would make a claim against that auto insurance policy. And all of that is the sort of thing that an attorney is going to have to help sort out. The police and their investigation is going to help sort it out as well. And then eventually the two insurance companies are going to come to some sort of agreement about who is actually at fault. There can be a situation where, in fact, both drivers are equally at fault for the car wreck, in which case you would submit your medical records, your bills, your injuries, and all that to both insurance companies, and they would pay it 50-50. So you would get half of your proceeds from one insurance company and half of the proceeds from the other. But it makes no matter to you, because the whole point is you would be made whole at the end of the process, because all of your medical bills have been paid, you've been compensated for your pain and suffering, and any potential long-term permanent injury that you might have received as a result of the car collision. So as a passenger in South Carolina, you're always going to be protected, and that's generally a very good thing. I'm Frank Hartman with the Hartman Law Firm, and today we talked about what are your rights as a passenger if you've been involved in a car wreck in the state of South Carolina. If you're watching this video and you are a passenger or you've been involved in a car accident, I would strongly encourage you to pick up the telephone and call me at 843-300-7600, or feel free to look me up at thehartmanlawfirm.com. Thanks very much for watching.